New York State poised to become the first in the country to address gun laws after last month's deadly shooting in Newtown, Connecticut. Governor Cuomo called this a top priority during his State of the State address last week, and now on this first day of session, lawmakers are getting set to take up a sweeping reform bill tonight. Pat Bailey is live inside the state capitol building, where he's been keeping tabs on this developing story all day long. Pat, what's the latest tonight?
Well, Dory, let's start from the beginning and how all of this unfolded. Earlier today, the head of the newly formed government coalition, IDC Independent Democratic Conference leader Jeff Klein, and Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver both said that they expect a gun control bill to come to the Senate floor tonight for a vote. Ever since then, it's been pretty much a lot of speculation, but we are told by a lot of Senate Republicans that the negotiations are continuing right now. We are told that there is no bill drawn up, but they are, quote, very close, and they do expect a gun control vote to come to the floor here this Senate tonight. In fact, the GOP conference met this afternoon for about 4 hours or so talking about a bill. Sheldon Silver, the Assembly Speaker, outlined what could be in the bill earlier today. He said that an assault weapons ban is part of that. Magazines that hold clips of more than 7 rounds would also be banned. He also said that there would be tougher laws for those who commit crimes with guns. But the important thing Speaker Silver said is that he would go along with what the governor proposed, and that is going after assault weapons.
Clear thing is, we are going to ban assault weapons. We are going to eliminate all of the loopholes that existed previously.
So, Mr. Speaker, it'll be a single characteristic definition of an assault weapon?
It will ban assault weapons, period.
Now, this Assembly Speaker also said today that the governor was prepared to give a message of necessity, and what that means is he would address the Senate, telling them how important this bill would be if the bill is drawn up, and that he would allow them to vote on it tonight as opposed to waiting the 3-day period. So what's been going on the last hour or so? Well, the Senate gavelled in at about 4:45. They gavelled out at about 5:15, and in the half hour that they were gavelled in, they really just went over some logistics. In fact, not all senators were in here. Then they gavelled out, and they're now in a Rules Committee meeting. One Senate Republican told me tonight that this, quote, going to be a long night, so get ready for that. Again, all the speculation here tonight, and what we are hearing, a growing trend here tonight, is that a gun control bill will come to the Senate floor tonight, Dory.
And you talk about this sense of urgency down there, Pat, that this will happen tonight, again, just days after the governor's State of the State address last week. Is there any concern at all about all of this happening so quickly?
Well, that's a concern with a few Republican senators. In fact, a few Republican assemblymen. I just spoke to one of them a short time ago who said that this is being rushed. He said, quote, there's no reason why we can't wait 3 days to do this. That was coming from an assemblyman or a GOP assemblyman. And again, the Senate feeling the same way. They're saying that this is rushed. But again, the negotiations have been going on behind closed doors for weeks now. And we are told by the IDC leader that that bill could be here tonight. And he's been part of those negotiations.
And I know there are so many different facets to this legislation, and we're kind of learning about it piece by piece. What do we know at this point about those people who already own these particular weapons?
Assault weapons that were legally owned before 1994, that law that was drawn up in 94 that a lot of these senators say has too many loopholes in them that they want to close up. If you legally owned an assault weapon before then, we are told again by the Assembly Speaker, we have not seen a bill, this is all coming from him, we are told that that bill would allow you to keep your assault weapon if you legally own it, but the caveat here is, he says, you would have to register it with the state of New York.
All right, well, we'll be keeping tabs on it. I know you'll be down there as well. Pat Bailey reporting live from the state capitol tonight. Thank you very much. Greg?
Well, it certainly has been a big talker. We have seen hundreds of comments on our Facebook page from people for and against these changes. For instance, Diane writes, yay, it's about time. We don't need assault weaponry on the streets of New York. While Bill writes, 5 deaths from long rifles in New York in 2012. If these liberals could ban every gun and halt the sale of them, they would. You betcha, in a heartbeat. Crystal writes, you know it would be good gun control if some of the parents of these kids that were shooting up schools got to know their child better and maybe got them some help before they got to the point where they thought shooting innocent people was the answer. And Joel says, criminals don't care about the law. It makes no difference to them if they have a permit or if the gun is legal. That brings us to tonight's CBS6Albany.com Talk 1300 web poll. We asked you if you think New York State needs to reform gun control laws. More than 600 people have cast their vote. Here's where the results stood at last check. 14% of you say yes, the state needs to reform the laws, while 86% of you say no, the laws do not need to be changed. We want to thank everyone who took the time to vote in tonight's web poll. And don't forget, you can follow this story as it breaks for the latest on what's going on at the state capitol. Just head to CBS6Albany.com. You can also keep tabs on us by following Facebook and Twitter. And, of course, more tonight at 11.